Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about the topic how to succeed, what you need to succeed. And the first thing you need to succeed is to know what you want to succeed in, right? So your direction, where do you want to go, what do you actually want? Yeah. And if you're in a place right now where you're like thinking, I don't actually know what I want, don't freak out. It's okay. Maybe for you right now, this is not the first step to do. This is not maybe the perfect video, because it's okay not to know what you want. It's okay not to know where you're going next. Sometimes we're put into those places where we actually have no idea, okay, what comes next. And most of us freak out when that happens. So this is an encouragement for you. If you don't know what you want in certain area of your life, it's okay. Take a deep breath. There's enough room and space and time, no matter what age you are, no matter what situation you're in. And I know there's going to be people, oh, but I need to focus on my survival. Yes. And you will also be able to have realizations about what you want. And that doesn't mean you cannot have an in-between solution. Yeah. So let's say for work, maybe you're still looking to find what is the thing that you want to do. That is the thing that you want to do for life. And, maybe sometimes we don't do our profession that we find for life. It always evolves. It always changes in a way, direction. And that's okay. It's normal. Change is normal. Something you got to normalize in your nervous system, because many of us are often afraid of change. But here's the thing. If you want to succeed, you need to expand your capacity to allow change to happen. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid to walk towards what you want. It's okay to be afraid to not know if you ever find out what you want. It's okay to be afraid. There's no problem with fear. Yeah. The thing is, how do you respond to what you're feeling? And I don't want to just say fear, but I also want to say, any emotion. But as this is about, how to succeed in something, whatever it is, no matter if it's your job, starting a business, becoming a speaker, starting a YouTube channel, finding a partner, having a baby, healing from something, improving your health, making friends, moving to a new city, that all is a pathway. That all requires you to take certain steps towards whatever that is that you want, whatever that is that you want to succeed in. Okay? And there will be fear on the way. Most likely, if it's really something where you stretch yourself and where you challenge yourself and this is something you really want, there may be fear on the way. And just know it's okay. Fear doesn't always mean, don't go that direction, better change, better stay in your comfort zone because it's so cozy and boring here. I'm not challenged at all. That's why I'm depressed. Yeah, get what I mean? So the other type of fear I want to mention as well, though, because it's important. Sometimes we have a sense of, this is like literally, seriously not for me. This doesn't feel safe. This doesn't feel like somebody treats me right. This doesn't feel aligned. This doesn't feel healthy. This is a different kind of fear. This is a fear where your body and mind are actually supporting you and telling you, alarm, be careful here. Let's investigate. Yeah. It's a different kind of fear. But the fear I'm talking about right now is the fear of walking towards something that you care about, that you're afraid to fail in, that you're afraid to be ridiculous at, that you're afraid to be shamed or judged by others if you take that path. That fear, this is something we can take by the hand. This is something we can work with. And I've spoken about this many times in other videos, but it's part of the pathway to whatever you want to achieve, no matter how small or big. A lot of people let themselves be stopped by fear. I'm not ready. Nobody's ever ready. And I know it's easy to say, but right here, right now, think about the thing that you want. Think about the thing that you want to walk towards, that you want to take action towards, but maybe you felt afraid to do it. Okay. And if you don't know what you want, maybe something comes into your mind right now. Just the tiniest thing. What do I want? I want to go to the gym at least once a week or something like that. Whatever it is, I want to start eating healthy. I want to stop smoking. Anything you want to be successful in may scare you a little. And again, feeling fear is not wrong. How you respond to it, that's what it's all about. So how can I respond to it and walk through the fear? Well, first of all, don't respond to it with negative self-talk, with self-punishment. Even if this is something that you grew up with and how you've been treated at some point in your life, we don't want to repeat this now. This is something also that may take some work to reduce and heal. And it may show up, even if you think, oh, I want to work on it, it may still show up. And again, that too is okay. We don't want to punish ourselves about punishing ourselves. We just want to get aware of the inner narratives. What am I telling myself about the thing that I want? Oh, I'm not fit to be a parent. I'm not going to be a good parent. I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want people to look at me. I will never be healthy because of this and that. If I stop smoking, I will be anxious. Whatever it is. If I get into a relationship, the person will leave me. It is more about you than the others. And it is more about your relationship to, walking towards what you want and the fear that shows up when you're walking towards it than anything else. Okay? So when fear comes up, how do you usually respond? Think about it. Write it down. Journal it out. How do you usually respond when you're getting afraid? When you're walking towards, when you're about to take action or you're actually taking action on whatever you want to succeed in, what happens when the fear comes up? Do you say no to opportunities? Do you say, I'm not available? Do you stop doing something? What do you do? And you can also share it below in the chat if you like, so people feel less alone. We all feel less alone. I can share with you what I do. And I have this thing, and it comes back to your nervous system, right? To your nervous system responses. So we have 4 main nervous system responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I'm not going to go too deep into them in this video. There's tons of videos you can check out from me where I'm talking about this. So I usually am the one that freezes or that runs. And when I freeze, I stop doing something. I start, ignoring opportunities and all these kind of things. Obviously, it's not so intense anymore. It just shows up for me now once in a while, but not so strongly because I've worked on it. And how I worked on it was, first of all, creating awareness for the inner narratives that I had around certain things that I wanted to succeed in. And as I got in touch with that part of me, and that you could call parts work, inner parts work, where we get in touch with our inner parts, you can imagine yourself like a puzzle, lots of pieces of you, some of them you like and you are integrated with, and some of them you outcast. And those parts usually knock on the door, especially when you're getting afraid and these parts are telling you, let's not do this, this is scary. Let's rather, freeze, stay small. And that may be like a sweet narrative, but it may also be a harsh voice. That may be a voice that you've internalized from a parent, from a caretaker, from a teacher, from whoever, an ex-partner or whatever. Yeah, and so become aware of the narrative that you have in your head, and maybe even write it down. What am I telling myself? You're not good enough, whatever it is, okay? You will never succeed, whatever your voice is saying. And then become the observer. Every time you're taking a step towards whatever you want to succeed in, the voice may or may not come up, but if it comes up, tell the voice, be like the bigger person. Be the parent to that part of you. Ask that part of you, wow, you're very harsh. Why are you speaking to me like that? It sounds a little abstract, but imagine this voice is a part of you that wants to protect you. And it knows how to stop you doing something in order to protect you, even if it's harsh. Yeah, because it worked in the past through other people being harsh to you or dismissive or whatever. Yeah, so let's look at when you grow up and somebody like a parent or a caretaker figure or a teacher teaches you something from love or teaches you something from fear and anger, it's a completely different learning. So if, let's say, very simple example, imagine you're 8 years old and you go shoe shopping with your parent, let's say your mother, and you want 2 pairs of shoes and you're super excited about them and you can't decide which one you want. Again, this is a very, very simple example just for you to understand what I mean here. And your mom is like, she takes you by the side and she says like, baby, I would love to buy you both of these pairs of shoes. You so deserve them. And I know how excited you are about them. But unfortunately, we are at the moment on a budget. And right now, I can only afford to buy you 1 pair of shoes. But it's at least 1 pair. Would you understand that? Would you be okay with that? And maybe next month we get another pair. But it's really important for me that you understand you deserve it and I love you, and it's not about you, it's just about our monthly planning with the money. Would that be okay? And you would probably say, sure, Mom, absolutely. Thank you so much for buying me a pair of shoes. And you pay, and then at home, when you unpack the shoes and you put them on for the first time, you'd probably be super grateful and always wear them with gratitude and pride. So, next story. Now you go into the shop, and you're like, oh my God, I want both of these shoes. But this time, another story, obviously, your mother's like, oh, you always want more. My God, I cannot believe it. No, you cannot have both shoes. Well, who do you think you are? This is, cannot believe it. So you feel like all your excitement goes down and you feel actually ashamed and like you did something wrong, and your mom tells you, choose one, and so she takes out all the fun of the experience and you get the shoes, you get home, and now when you put on the shoes, you feel kind of like shame and guilt when you're wearing those shoes. You're always reminded that you actually don't deserve them, and who am I to want even 2 pairs? I probably barely deserve 1. So you're growing up to be the adult who may feel undeserving of attention, of receiving, of being in, wanting, having needs, having desires, playfulness. You may grow up like that. And obviously, this is not an isolated incident. If this is the that I'm describing, the character of the person, of that mother in that scene. And it could be a father, it could be a teacher, whatever. It's really just for the sake of the example. So this is the way that you've been influenced and conditioned as a child. And you may feel even as an adult like lots of scarcity, right? Lots of scarcity. You feel like when you have a little bit of something, when you succeed in something, you may not deserve it and you don't know how you got there. Or you may even feel like it's going to be taken away from you. The rug is pulled out from under you if you haven't done any work on that, okay? Whilst the other example with, let's say, the loving example, that child may grow up to feel, compelled to speak their needs, to tell people what they want, to be grateful instead of fearful. Yeah, so there's a huge difference in feeling grateful for something and open and honest, and also having developed the capacity to understand, oh, okay, we just have this budget, so that's why it's not my fault. Doesn't mean I'm not deserving. I'm deserving, and there may be a no, but it's not personal. The other child may grow up to be an adult who feels undeserving and it's all about me, and you take it all personal. Yeah, so there's a huge difference. So one of these children may feel more deserving to be successful and take action, and the other adult may feel less deserving to even take action. And that may feel, that may be something that stops you in your tracks. So one child may be less afraid of fear, and even though, the child that grew up with more showcase of love may feel fear to walk towards what they want, but they may not feel stopped in their tracks to achieve it, to go there, to like they will be feeling the fear and do it anyway. And often maybe the child that has been less emotionally educated and supported may feel like, oh my God, if I do this, then the world breaks down or whatever. Yeah, so that adult may feel less confident to handle that fear emotionally. Yeah, so it doesn't always have to be like that, but this example feels really important because maybe you grew up in the way that was a little more harsh, that was not, that didn't have teaching moments from love and understanding and reassuring that you are loved, that you are deserving, yeah, this emotional support. You may have grown up in the way where you didn't have that. Probably doesn't mean your parents didn't love you, but maybe they didn't have the skills, to the emotional intelligence and the attunement to teach you, because I don't want them to believe they're not deserving when they're an adult, okay? So we're not blaming anybody. We're taking responsibility. So now when you want to work towards whatever you want to succeed in, you got to check in with yourself. Do I feel deserving? And if you don't feel deserving, that doesn't mean you need to stop and you can never get there. It just simply means start working on your inner beliefs and how you feel about yourself. Yeah? And if your nervous system is tuned towards, I'm, not deserving, I am nobody, I'm not enough, or whatever it is that you carry within you, then it may be time to work on that. And that's not just cognitively, because you can understand as an adult, yeah, I feel like I'm not deserving, but I know I'm deserving. Or I know I'm afraid, but I want to achieve that, so I'm going to do it anyway. Force will not, or mental force will not get you there if your body is not on your side. It's really something that stops you in your body, in your tracks. Why do you think you don't take action? If you want to, if you have the mental strength to force yourself to get up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym, but you will not stick with it if your body is not with you. If you want to start a business and you need to speak on a stage or whatever it is, You may never do it because you're getting anxious and your body won't let you because it wants to keep you safe. So in order to succeed, you need to work on your nervous system. You need to get in touch with your inner parts to understand, not just cognitively, but emotionally and somatically. Somatically means body, physical body. Where you're holding yourself back. Release that emotional charge, release that unexpressed action, experience, feeling, and that will help you to move forward. It's not something you can force in your mind. It's not something that is, changeable cognitively only with your logical mind. We need to work with the body. And the first step you can do is just noticing the narratives in your mind. Write them down so you have them in front of you. And then you can even rate on a scale from 0 to 10, with 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How intensely do I feel that this is the truth? Let's say the belief that I'm not good enough. How intensely do I feel that this is the truth? Is it 0? Is it 5? Is it 8? Is it 10? Yeah, and then you can make a note of that. And when you work on it, you can actually see the progress. So maybe if you work on it with somebody, in a month from now, you may feel it's only a 5 or a 3. Yeah. Second step, so first of all, I would become aware of what I'm telling myself. Second of all, you can also, from becoming the observer of your thoughts, you can already realize I have a choice. Yeah, I spoke about this intensely 2 videos ago, I think. So check out that video. It's like nearly an hour long, but it's worth it. Become the observer and make a different choice. Do I want to listen to that voice or not? Sometimes the voice doesn't go away and we identify intensely with that voice. Then you need to not just listen to what you're telling yourself, but get in touch with that part of you. Yeah, you can close your eyes, connect to that part of you. You can go into that if you are now wondering, how do I connect to that part of me? Connect to the feeling of whatever it is. Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it anger? Is it pain? Is it guilt? Connect to that feeling. Bring that feeling up that you feel whenever you want to step towards whatever you want to succeed in. Close your eyes. Feel that feeling. Take a moment to do that. Take a deep breath through your nose. And notice if you feel that feeling in a certain place in your body. Maybe it's in your chest or in your throat, in your shoulders, in your belly. Could be anywhere. And if you can't feel it in your body, that's okay too. It takes some time to practice. That is the somatic work. So take another breath and breathe into that part of your body where you feel that, if you feel it somewhere. If it's in your chest, take a deep breath in your chest or a few deep breaths, or in your belly, or let your breath move slowly through your throat. And feel that feeling in that body part. And as you feel it, maybe you can bring that feeling out a little more. Obviously, don't close your eyes when you're driving. And maybe you have even some emotions come up, even if it's just a fleeting moment of me explaining this. Obviously, you can take this offline and practice this with meditative music or something. Just focusing on that area and breathing. And trying to bring that feeling out. And then imagine to connect with that part of you there. As you connect with that part of you, you can start asking that part questions. Now, sometimes that part will be open to answer you questions. Or maybe you want to start just observing how that part looks like, what's the age of the part, how it feels like to you. And sometimes that part is not open to that, and that's called resistance. So if nothing comes and you're like, ugh, that doesn't work, yeah, that's the resistance. Own it. Take responsibility over it. That's resistance. And resistance just means your mind wants to keep you safe so you don't get vulnerable with yourself and actually open up. That's okay too if there's resistance. Doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, just means observe it, allow it. And when you sit with the resistance for a while and you even tell it, okay, you're not ready to open up, I'm not feeling anything actually, and that's okay too. When you sit with that for a while, maybe the resistance will melt a little. And then you may get a little bit of access to that part of you that actually needs your support. And you can ask it, why do you hold us back? What's going on? What are you afraid of? And maybe you will get an answer. Maybe not. I have a good meditation for that. It's called emotional release meditation. It's linked below. In the meditation, it says, connect to the part of you that's upset or angry. It's okay if you use the meditation also to connect to the part that's afraid. Yeah. Just imagine instead of anger or upset, afraid. And go through the meditation. It's exactly parts work meditation. Yeah. So you can try it out. It's really powerful. So I can really recommend you do it because it will give you some answers. Yeah. So if you want to succeed, we already went through the 3 points. And then it is also being soft with yourself, being gentle. You may fall back. It's okay. You're human. Remember, just a little reminder, you're human. We're not doing everything in the perfect path. By the way, success doesn't happen like this. It happens like this. Yeah? It's a rocky path. And cut yourself some slack. Get inspired by people also who've achieved something that you want, no matter if it's a beautiful relationship or whatever it is. Get inspired by people's stories. Yeah, not by the result that they have, because it took time for them to get there. So listen to a podcast where somebody tells their life story or their relationship story, where they failed and where they succeeded. Yeah, don't just listen to people. Never listen to people who only tell you the success, who withhold the path to it. That's not the example you want. You want somebody to hear somebody's story of somebody that literally, really, truly inspires you. And maybe it's a few people, and maybe not everything about one person inspires you. Maybe just a part of them inspires you, and a part of the other person inspires you. But, because it shows you, oh, other people did it before, so I could probably do it. That person has the same background. That person has the same, difficult relationship in the past, and they made it. That person lost weight. That person got healthy. That person had a baby, although it seemed like it's impossible. Yeah, get inspired by people's stories. If you want to be a great speaker, look at people that inspire you. How do they speak? Do they speak from here or do they speak from here? Yeah, this is all the most important. The rest comes after. Yeah, the nitty gritty. There's obviously so many ways that need to be so many things that need to be said about being successful, but these ones are really important that I just shared with you. And then work also on, what are you afraid of? Instead of letting this stay in your path, the people who are successful in whatever, the smallest things and the biggest things, they have certain values of what success means for them. Success doesn't mean $1 million. Success means, to everybody something else. For me, it would be living fulfilled, being healthy, having good relationships, being honest and genuine, using my gifts and skills, impacting other people positively, stuff like that. What are your values around that? And again, if you're not sure what your values are, start there as well. Because if you don't know who you want to be, it's hard to walk towards that person. And yeah, I lost a thought. But that's okay. If it's not important, it's not important. But this is so crucial to focus on. Yeah, who do you actually want to be and what's in the way? And the stuff that's in the way, it's okay, because you can get it out of the way. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That doesn't mean you cannot succeed. It just means that you need to get a little clearer on, okay, what am I afraid of? Who do I actually want to be? And then the way to there may not be linear, and it may take some time. So maybe you could also allow yourself to be human and take some time into your hands, because the journey is what it's all about. Okay? And in the journey, you become that person that succeeds at being a great parent, all the examples that we already talked about. Okay, I think this is it for today. I feel like there's more that I wanted to say, but that's all that I can connect to right now. Success is different than what we're being taught in society. So if you're still feeling like success is one certain thing that is portrayed in the world, it's a great moment for you to check in and see if that's true for you, or if this is something that you picked up and what success means for you. Okay, if you need some help with clarity, there's also a clarity journal that I have that really covers so much ground. It also has 4 featured meditations, and it just works really well. So if you don't want to try something new, you can try that out. And I'm going to leave you with that. I believe in you. I love you. And I see you in the next video. Ciao.